All right, guys. So as we've discussed in detail, you have a lot of the people on the far right, a lot of the people in MAGA are coming unglued lately because they know their boy is struggling in the polls. They know he's sort of off track. They might not say it, but I think they know that they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. I think they know that didn't land, and it's hurting them in the same way that it was hurting Trump when he was questioning Kamala Harris's race, and he just face-planted and went down the polls, and Kamala went up. So here we have on Real America's Voice. You have a host. This guy, by the way, is Marjorie Taylor Greene's boyfriend. He comes out, and he casually gives some advice to Republican voters. And as you're about to hear, this is a crime. Let's go.
If you go to a polling center and you see busloads, van loads of people walking up to vote that clearly perhaps look like they could be, let's just make sure people are checking IDs. Because if people are going in with zero ID and they're not a U.S. citizen, then they shouldn't be allowed to vote, period. So we need poll watchers that can perhaps sound the alarm if they think that is going on, so that maybe some election officials can double check on that. So if we start to see all these caravan of people coming in, let's make sure they're all legal before we allow them to vote. It's as simple as that.
So in other words, if you see a bunch of Hispanic-looking folks going to vote, pester them, harass them, question their citizenship, be aggressive, scare them. Yeah, this is voter intimidation. Guys, we've discussed it a lot, but they low-key know they can't win if everything is on the up and up and everything is fair. They know that. I mean, I forget the exact number, but in the last 6 or 7 elections, Republicans have only won the popular vote in 1 or 2 elections, something like that. It's something ridiculous, right? They know. Yeah, it's not looking good for us. So in order to try to stack the deck and rig it up front, they have all these tricks they use. This one is crossing the line into just intimidate voters. Just intimidate the shit out of them. You saw Texas the other week, they did a raid on a totally legal voter registration group that does voter registration drives and gets people signed up in Texas. They shut it down. Why? Because it was Latino driven, right? This is what they did. You have Ken Paxton, who was bragging on Steve Bannon's show that he stole the election for Trump in 2020 in Texas. He said, I waged 7 different lawsuits to throw out a bunch of mail-in ballots. I succeeded. If I didn't win those, Biden probably would have won Texas. He didn't say probably. He said Biden would have won Texas. And nobody even talks about that. You know, it's Trump going around 24/7 saying, they're rigging it. They're stealing it. Look, it's unfair. Look what they're doing. Meanwhile, this is the shit they're doing. Calling for your viewers to do voter intimidation to try to scare them away from voting. Rigging it in Texas. In Georgia, as we discussed the other day, there's new rules that are basically trying to gum up the works and screw the process so that it takes longer to count the votes. They mandate hand counting everything. That means the hand count is going to take way longer. And when that's happening, Trump will go out there and complain, something's wrong, something's fishy, something's up. Why is it taking so long? They said no more machines, you got to hand count it. And then when it takes a while, they're starting saying, something's fishy here, something's wrong. And again, we're looking at another scenario where it'll probably be a red mirage. It'll look like Trump is up early because they count the votes from the day of first. He's going to win those votes because Democrats are more likely to do mail-in voting. Then when the mail-in votes come in, the Democrats are going to surge. They're going to scream bloody murder. Trump is already saying he won't accept it if he loses. I mean, this is not okay. 70 different MAGA people are on the election certification boards in swing states. The tremendous amount of damage they could do, I don't think we've fully wrapped our minds around it yet. I mean, Trump has been going around saying, we don't need any more votes. I got all the votes we need. We don't even need any more votes. Why would you say that before an election? Is it because you have 70 MAGA election certifiers who are going to gum up the works for you and do everything they can to wrongly hand it to you? Is that what it is? Do you feel confident that the election will be thrown to Congress and they get to decide? Or do you feel confident that it'll go to the Supreme Court and the same people that said you have near total immunity, they'll side with you? It is uncharted territory, man. It is not pretty. It is not pretty, but this is what they've become. He's just arguing for voter intimidation and voter harassment if somebody has, and of course, there's a deep racial aspect to this. You think these poll watchers he's talking about, you think they're going to go up to some white skin looking person and just be like, hey, are you sure you're allowed to legally vote? No, it's of course going to be targeted at minorities. Of course. Oh, man. It just keeps getting worse, man. All of it just keeps getting worse. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.